It really began as a question. I wanted to know, how much can I know about a stranger from something that they leave behind? What can I tell about you from a hair? A person's phenotype is essentially how their DNA translates into their physical appearance. My name is Heather Dewey-Hagborg, and I'm an information artist, and I've been experimenting with creating portraits from DNA. I've been working with art and technology for about 10 years, so I would say that I'm an artist first. I've long been fascinated by science. DNA is perhaps nothing if not the ultimate information system. It begins with me traveling through the city, going about my daily routines, and discovering some kind of detritus, something that a human has left behind that might contain DNA. So things like hair, cigarette butts, chewing gum, fingernails, any of these kinds of artifacts I can pick up and bring into the lab to analyze. At the end of a few hours' time, I have extracted pure DNA, and I then feed into a custom computer program, and that program is able to generate a 3D model of a face. So the first question that people usually ask me is how accurate these portraits are, and my response is generally that these are essentially like a family resemblance. I can tell things like whether you have a tendency to be overweight or not, whether you might have freckles, what color your eyes are, and all of these different traits I can combine together to create a portrait which might look like your cousin or, another ancestor of yours. If you look at someone's DNA, you can find traces of where their ancestors may have come from, right? And that will point you towards someone's ethnic background. But there's no race gene. Race is a human construct. It's something that we think of as being in these very distinct, almost binary categories, whereas it's really much more of a continuum. One of the really fascinating things is I could easily take that cigarette butt, and instead of looking at the phenotype, I could look at that person's potential for something like breast cancer, diabetes. That's something that I could do right now. In this project, I could potentially know more about you than your doctor does.